before. Now you do it the way I do it.
Perfect.
Perfect. Do you see how fast it goes?
Yeah.
You see how fast it goes. Picture you have 4 trucks. Picture at some point for 3 years, I had 19 trucks every day. How fast do I have to jump? I had 3 phones from one person to another to another. So memorizing what are you talking about? Yes? Okay. So that the one to North Carolina, 2,000 miles, actually, it's possible. It's not really team. You need a strong solo, but delivery has to be Friday afternoon, right? If we can pick up right away, because we have difference in time. If our truck in Nogales, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So actually, even Kristen, if she pushes that truck, she can deliver Friday afternoon if he gives us that 54, 55, right? Yes? Yes. Why dispatch? And
Because
why
it
me? And
because
why
it's
me?
because it's my path.
Okay.
Very short and true.
So tell me, first, I mean, you were the winner of the free class, so congratulations on that.
Thank you so
But
much. Yes,
you
thank you
did
for
put an
opportunity.
effort. You did put an effort, so you jump into it, you put the comments, you went on all the 3 platforms, so you deserve it, right? So if person wants something and actually shows an effort, you receive it back. You went to the class 2 days before the class, so you had to catch up. Did you had experience in trucking before? Let's refresh that.
Honestly, very short. It was like maybe 1 month. I've been working in Kavkaz Express almost 4 years ago, but nobody explained me nothing, and I just quit because I understood that you need to knowledge. Because without knowledge, you only can make a trouble to the driver. I have respect to driver because it's not easy job, so I'd rather prefer to to the other job.
Okay, so you did try to be a dispatcher there, right?
Yeah, they just explain me how to call, how to verify MC. 4 years ago, they didn't do a lot of factoring checking. That was a different system,
Okay.
and that's all. Just the calling, everybody paying
Okay.
$3-4 per mile, and you don't need to do nothing.
Okay, so you did not really do operational costs. You did not
Zero.
really pay attention to details, equipment. So they just gave you the desk and just how many trucks did they give you from beginning?
Five, five
5
driver.
right away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no explanation, but the market was a little bit better, so it was but still you can make a lot of mistake. So you lasted 1 month. So do you think if you would have the training before you went, would it make it the difference?
Mm, completely yes. 100% yes.
Right?
Because right now I can distinguish a basic, so this is the most important to understand what broker require, what driver require, what market require.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this: why do you think they actually do not train?
Could you ask me one more
I
time?
said, why don't they train? Because this was a big company, right?
Why they didn't train me?
Yes, why?
I can answer you why. In this environmental, I've been over there entire month. Nobody had a time for me, so they couldn't explain for me. They just threw me. Let's call it threw the to the deep ocean.
Mm-hmm.
They've been advising something, but this is advice didn't really matter. So they probably easy to them just to have this rotation of the dispatchers and keep this going. Like have 10 dispatchers who is really good, 5 who is doesn't know what they're doing over there,
Mm-hmm.
and keep going and make the circle because the market were more easier right now. It's market more difficult. So you need to be prepared like the warrior.
Okay, but let's look logically. So
Mhm.
they have that rotation, which is not good for them as well because people starting make mistake, then they quit, they sprint the new people. So the biggest problem with the big mega carriers, especially in Chicagoland or other bigger city who think that it's smart, well, it's not. Because what's happening, Gregory? Well, first, the drivers get tired of this nonsense switching. It's not his fault. He was not explained, but why they don't teach? Because a good experienced dispatcher, he already has a lot of pressure, right? Secondary, he gets paid better, right, Gregory? Because he learned,
Yes.
probably he survived he doesn't want to teach competition because now this is a competition for him. Plus, some people know how to do, but they cannot teach. Some people, they know how to do, but you sit next to him, he cannot explain why this has happened, right? Because he learned, and a lot of them learn certain way. So that's why some dispatcher, even which consider being good in certain company, you throw them in a different market, different equipment, and they will not do a good job because they just used Chicago to East Coast back to Chicago to Memphis, Memphis back. Switch him to flatbed, switch him to cross country. Because why? They never been given that basic logical thinking, which I am giving to you guys. So for you, doesn't matter. You still have to go back to rate per mile, to commodities, to check what's going on, to make the difference. So I do believe that basic training is a must, no matter if you go to mega carrier and independent dispatch or you work for yourself. Do you agree? It's a lot of things to
Yes.
put together. So after being in my class, and I was really harsh on you because when you receive free class, I was picking, but you were always there. You finished homeworks, you participated. After today, is that confidence is up?
Definitely yes. If you're letting me call 1 or 2 days more, I will really appreciate by myself. But for sure, yes, because right now I have the structure in my head, as you advise for me from this pickup hour, from delivery hour. This is crucial because if the driver cannot make this pickup and I'm still asking about the rate, it doesn't make sense at all. I need to just keep calling and looking for what is realistic, what I can take. Definitely. Right now I have order and I will follow this order.
Okay. Well, steps. Let's call it the steps, right?
Yeah,
It's the
let's call
steps.
this steps. Yeah,
Steps. Okay. So would you recommend my training
highly everywhere.
everywhere? So why don't we say it in Ukrainian for people who just came from Ukraine looking for the new job? Why don't we just say a few minutes in Ukrainian language? Because I have received so many phone calls. Can you explain to them? Is basic English is a must. Multitasking, willingness to learn is a must. So can you actually say it in Ukrainian language so it doesn't come from me but from you as a student? So is it possible to learn or not?
Do you want me to reply in English or Ukrainian?
I want you to reply in Ukrainian so people understand, especially for people who just got to USA due to the war and who is looking for the new job, because I'm receiving a lot of phone calls and their question is always, if I don't speak English, can you still teach me? So can you actually in Ukrainian explain yes or no?
Я спробую дати відповідь делікатно. Якщо взяти до уваги мою історію в Америці, я тут вже принаймні 5 років, і я ходив в англійську школу 2 роки. У мене є сертифікат рівня C1. Може, мій акцент не відповідає на цей сертифікат, але я маю academical writing. І для людей, так як Алес каже, що які взагалі там не знають англійської або які мають англійську, це би було вкрай дуже і дуже важко, бо ви би просто не зрозуміли термінології і, напевно, швидкість розмова і акцент брокерів просто не дав би вам взагалі розуміння якогось такого мінімального, що вам потрібно, щоб зрозуміти, чи цей груз взагалі варто брати, чи не варто брати, і щоб не залізти в якусь біду. Тому, перш за все, я би рекомендував піти в англійську школу, не жаліти грошей і часу, повчитися принаймні з рік в англійській школі інтенсивно, і тоді залюбки з повною, як то кажуть, силою, надією, любов'ю до Алекс і беріть курс, щоб ви змогли говорити і, як то кажуть,
Тому
цей.
якщо Алекс навіть зробить класи українською мовою і вам все роз'яснить від А до Б українською, якщо немає знання англійської, то не буде можливо. Так?
Так, на жаль, так.
На жаль, так. Але якщо ви підтягнете англійською, то навчити вас ми можемо. Тому відповідь для всіх українців, для всіх російськомовної нашої, так сказати, аудиторії. На жаль, тому я і не вчу класи російської, української, тому що це просто буде заробляння на вас грошей. А то не наша місія. Наша місія є, щоб ви змогли це робити добре. Дякую, Святослав. Sorry,
Дякую.
Gregory. I just had to clarify to some Ukrainian auditors.
Yeah.
So let's go to Midwest. And where are we going? To Midwest, right? Yes?
Okay. Yes.
Correct or not?
Yep.
Okay. So if we are talking about Midwest, when we're not saying really tolls and everything else, that's how it's usually work. Rates approximately the same. So let's say Chicago to Kentucky, let's say 220. Coming from Kentucky to Chicago should be also around $192. So it evens out. So when we do Midwest back and forth, rates kind of the same. So you need to push both sides, right? When we do Chicago, Midwest to East Coast, we need to put Midwest to East Coast. It has to be higher, way higher, because East Coast is not ever going to match, right? When we do cross country, when we come from East Coast going to West Coast, is that going to be higher rates than West Coast going to East Coast? Let's say New Jersey to California and California to New Jersey. Which rates are always going to be higher?
To East Coast.
From East Coast, no. They're always going to be lower. That's why when you go to California, you need to make sure that market pays there. Because if you take the cheap load from New Jersey, let's say $1.70, and you go all the way to California and you already driving 3,000 miles, $1.70. And if California is also not paying, well, you're going to end up with $1.80, $1.70. Well, you are in minus, right? Mr. Rustam knows that, but they still doing it. So for them, they need to do tri-hole, but they are power only. So probably, I don't know really with Amazon. So they need to break it down. From New Jersey, they need to take maybe to Chicago area or to Midwest, Indianapolis, and then break it. So they make that extra money tri-hole. Same, if they got to California and California doesn't pay, they need to use tri-hole. Maybe California to Dallas and then Dallas to East Coast. Otherwise, they are doing charity runs. They are not making money. So when the market doesn't pay, you cannot take this long ass loads because you will be out of business. Okay, so let's call. Quick rate search shows what? $2.49 per mile, right? So, okay, $2.49. So we should be at $1,200. To get to $1,200, well, we need to ask for at least $1,550, right? Not 2,000, not 2,500, but $1,550. So you can end up with $1,450, right? We already learned that yesterday. Realistic. Otherwise, okay. So let's call and see. Okay. He asked you, what kind of rate are you looking for? So he said, it's covered, but I can put you over in because why? Because they're probably not sure whoever they book with if it's going to work. So he asked you, what kind of rate are you looking for? Write it down. Well, I need to be at 14. I need to be at 15. Write it down so you remember this. That's how they ask. What kind of rate are you looking for? Well, I would like to be at 15. For me to do it, I have to be at 21. My lowest, so you have to always say, my lowest would be 17, let's say. I can probably help you out with 14.50. So you have to tell them like, you know, different ways. Okay, so, okay. Yeah, you have C. Sorry, I guess I put the wrong number. So you are from California, Santa Clara, California?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What do you have? Nogales going to?
Far Texas. One pick, one drop. Available in 2400. Pick up today, delivery Thursday.
Fort Worth, Texas. Who is a receiver in Fort Worth, Texas?
I'm sorry?
Who is a receiver in Texas?
Let me give it to you. The detail. Receiver is Red Sun Farms.
Okay. And how much are you paying?
We are paying 2400. We always cover this load in 2400, one-on-one.
2,400?
Yeah.
What is the temperature in it?
Temperature is, just a moment, 50 degrees.
And the commodity?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Well, we're talking about almost 1130 miles. Unfortunately, we need to be higher than that. So I need to be at 3100.
No, that's way too high, ma'am.
Well,
That's way too high.
this is not that high. It's almost 1200 miles. It's 2-day transit going to Texas. Texas is not really paying, so would you like to put my offer in?
Yeah, but we don't pay, ma'am. Yesterday also we covered it for 2400. Two loads we have covered in
Okay, so then
2400
you have to find a
yesterday.
different carrier. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, maximum I can do 2500 for this one.
Again, ma'am, I can help you out. I can go to 29, but this would be my lowest.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Dispatch.
Hey, this is Tomas with Drew. How you doing?
Hi, Tomas. I'm doing well. What do you have? Nogales going where?
You already know what I'm calling about.
Of course I do. I can read through the phone. So where are we going?
Hickory, North Carolina team 1-on-1.
Team. I did not post the team, Thomas. You have to start paying attention to load board. But how much are you paying for the team? I have a strong solo Sergey. He can drive as a team. Better than a team.
It has to deliver Friday. That's why.
How much are you paying? Which what is the zip code in North Carolina?
That is 28601.
28601. Is your tomatoes ready?
It's actually peppers.
Peppers, even better. So we're gonna make some grilled peppers. Okay, how much are you paying?
Looking to be about 45.
45? You want us to deliver on Friday and you don't want to pay? I'll make it 56 and my Sergey is gonna deliver.
Yeah, I could do 5 on it.
5? Why don't we do 54?
I don't have 54. That's why.
Come on, you from 45, you jumped to 5 already, so you can squeeze
Right,
another
there's a lumper.
400.
There's a $250 lumper I got to pay there too.
Tell the customer to pay lumper. This is not your
That's
problem.
included on the rate I gave.
Really? Then you don't know how to negotiate. Lumpers is not your problem.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, now I'm done answering the phone to Gregory. Gregory, what is your story? Where you come from? Why did you choose me? And what is your experience in trucking?
Well, I'm from Haiti, and I live in US for 14 years.
Okay.
And I got some experience in trucking because I used to do over the road, almost 48 states, different company. But actually, I don't really trucking. I do Uber and Lyft, other activities, and I say that I would like to learn how to dispatch. And I check all the internet, all the YouTube, and I see you are the best teacher.
Okay.
Really, really, really the best, because all the video, all the video I watch, I see how you are really. I like the way you teach. I see that you know the industry. That's
Thank
why I
you.
choose you.
From Haiti, how many people from Haiti you know that are actually in trucking? Is that a lot of people in trucking?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay,
It's
so
a
for
lot.
you to take advantage of this, you're gonna be connect on what? On your background, right? Because people trust same people, right? So they're like, wow,
Yeah,
we can connect. So for you, that's gonna be a big plus, right? Because we start
yes.
where people feel comfortable with that. For example, for Svetoslav, he's gonna be good with Eastern Europeans because they still catch up on the same traditions, language, kind of experience, attitudes, right? For you, the
Yeah.
same. So you can connect to that kind of region, and that would be your beginning, and you can
Yeah.
actually educate a lot of them because you learn. Because problem was that they are hardworking people, but nobody gives them education and share how it should be done, and a lot of times they are stuck. They don't want to grow because they're afraid. I cannot do it. But You can do it, right? Look at you. You came to the
Yeah.
class, you've been participating, you learning, you do your best, right? It still have a long time because I still want to make sure you call to Thursday, right? So we're gonna make sure you sign up and you call. But from beginning of the class till today, do you think that you add extra knowledge, extra logical thinking, like look differently on tracking now than just listening? Oh, market sucks. Oh, market is up. Oh no, market is never gonna be good again. Is that a different perspective now when you see how to read the data, how to predict, kind of, right?
Yeah, it's a big difference. And also, I like the way you teaching, and also the material like you give us to study, all the stuff, all the regulation you give us. And it's like something after the class I gonna really take the time to study,
Yeah,
because there's a lot to study.
that's a lot of PDFs. It's a lot of homework. That's why today you're not done. Today, actually, and Thursday, it's kind of telling you, well, I need to go back and redo this. I need to go and now organize those steps, right? Because today is finally that circle which you kind of closing to start it all over, right? So now you can polish every step and see the gaps, because hopefully with yesterday and today, you see what's still missing there, right?
Yeah.
Load board, you can still look at the tools, right, Gregory? Make sure you go, you look, see what's posted, check, look at the transit, check what would I do with him, put it on a map and kind of see would it make sense. Click the right. If I take him, that try to see the third load. Don't even look for tomorrow, because you cannot go all the way 7 days, but approximately. So if you make this 3 loads, how many hours would he need to do restart? So that's why try to build those kind of circles. Pretend what kind of reefer. Why would I bring him to Nogales? Well, because he's a reefer, right? If I brought him to Nogales, probably not to take the shitty load to Phoenix, Arizona. Probably I'm bringing him back to, right? So there has to be logic. And if you play with it a little bit, you're gonna start building the circles, right? So good.
Correct.
Yeah, go ahead, Gregory. Post Indiana. So find the load with a rate approximately, right? So write down if he's gonna be
Like
in
you
Indianapolis.
pre-book.
Yeah, so kind of like in your head and write down and calculate, right? From Indianapolis. Well, if I take him for East Coast and they pay the max here, well, probably doesn't make sense. Maybe I need to bring him to Wisconsin and then to Georgia, right? So when you start playing with whatever you see, it's kind of gonna start building your logical thinking. Or pay attention to those routes, right? 68, 70 in the middle of nowhere. Well, doesn't make sense, right? Even if it pays a little bit more, doesn't make sense. So practice. You guys have those logins, and thanks God they're working today. So keep practicing, right?